Hi Pisces, welcome to your April 2019 love reading. If you are new, I am Princess India, and it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance through this here doodad digital screen thingamabobber. So anywho, I feel like I have not talked to you in like freaking forever. And Pisces, you know, we're here. I miss you and I love you. Just cover me in your wonderful Piscean energy so I can get the warm and gigglies and stuff. I hope the retrograde has been nice to you. I'm sure it has. That was sarcasm. So jumping right into your spread. First, we're going to look at an overall energy for you and your person of interest. We're going to look at hidden influences as well as blocks in you guys' relationship. And I'm starting extended readings, but since I'm doing personals in between each, one I'm putting on YouTube, it's probably going to be maybe tomorrow at the worst for the extendeds to be up. So, just keep checking for the link, just in case I upload this and the link isn't there, I'm a Taurus. Leave me be. Things happen. So anyway, our overall energy that we're looking at is the energy between you guys, hidden influences as well as blocks. Then we're going into our traditional cross-watcher spread. But things have changed. So I'm reading for Pisces, or whatever sign, when I do these, the first row. But I feel that the cross-watcher, if a person is watching this video to cross-watch Pisces, you're 9 times out of 10 gonna resonate with the first row for the Pisces person I'm reading for, right? Now, the person that you're watching it for is probably going to be row number 2. So just throwing that out there. But wherever you resonate, toss yourself up in there. All right, so we're going to start with your overall energy, and we have the Seek card, which is the Hermit. So there's a need to, in reference to this relationship, okay, I just heard union. Don't get too excited now, okay? I'm hearing it differently than you would think. Okay, so first thing I hear is union, but I'm hearing that more in alignment with the individual, right? So it's more or less whatever piece is missing, and I'll just kind of leave it at that. Whatever piece is missing, Pisces, whatever it is you're confused about, whatever it is that you need clarity on, whatever it is that you're looking for, there's a need to take a step back from everything and to kind of reattune with yourself. Because the vibe I'm getting, it's a lot of yang, 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 yang going on. It's like a lot of people around you, and they're giving their opinions, they're giving their thoughts. One person tells you this, another person tells you that. And it's kind of like your energy has been so fixated outside of yourself that you can't even really hear your inner voice anymore. And this can also happen with overworking yourself. So whether that's literally taking a vacation or just needing to take a step back, like, this weekend, just having a spa day or something, I feel like you guys kind of need to take a step back to ground because you've kind of gotten lost in the sauce. And of course, with the energies from the retrograde and stuff like that, with this being for April, the retrograde is over. I'm recording this in March, of course, but the retrograde is over on the 28th. It goes direct on the 28th of this month. And of course, you're going to be in post-retro shade afterwards. So those residual energies with this being in your sign, it's understood. But I feel like there's a need after going through this huge purging process and these major energy shifts to kind of take a step back to get yourself clear and grounded before you move forward, right? Especially in reference to this relationship. So whether that's you or the other person, because, unless y'all are together right now, you can't really tell them what to do, but I'm just saying, okay? So you two cross-watcher. Anyway, hidden influences. We have the 8 of Wands, success and growth, but this was in the reverse. Sorry, my phone buzzed. This was in the reverse. It's very interesting. I don't usually read these in the reverse, but I feel like I should. There's a whole lot of blocks going on. This is your typical 8 of Wands card, but the whole thing is with it being in reverse, this is block communication. Now, here's the deal. And this is going to sound weird. if communication is blocked, or if this person blocked you, right? That's like the best possible thing that could have happened. I don't know why yet, but it is. Because I'm feeling the need to say that there's and I'm getting another message too. There's a need for a break, a pause. And this is very similar to what I heard for Gemini. It's like this whole separation thing, but this is needed because I feel like also looking at it from the perspective of being upright, it's more or less that this break, whatever it is, even if it's a breakup, you know, between the two of you, that's needed for you to take this step back to look within. Because I kind of feel like this person is playing this role of a distraction. Now, your blocks. Wonderful. We have the Fool in reverse, the Trust card. This is recklessness. So it's like irrationality, like being reckless, not thinking, not looking before you leap. It's like just doing something. And how would I describe this? Because this is very interesting what I'm seeing right now. It's almost like, okay, if a person does not like having to make a decision about something, it's like disassociating from the fact that you have to make a decision. Like, I don't know, like I'm at this job that I hate, but I don't know if I should try to stick it out or if I should quit, right? And it's kind of like you'll say negative stuff about the job, right? To the point where it's like, oh, every day it's something. So every time somebody says or does something, it's like a trigger. It's like, oh, see what I'm talking about? The people, right? And then it gets to a point to where, I don't know, somebody steals your stapler and you're like, I'm just being violated. These people don't treat me properly. They demean me. I quit, right? So you don't have another job lined up. You know what I'm saying? But all of this was like a big scenario that was orchestrated by your way of trying to prevent yourself from making a decision. Because there's anxiety in having to make a decision. There's responsibility that's intricately related in making a decision, which means if you make the wrong one, you have to be held accountable. But it's almost like I'm seeing this scenario where it's like a person self-sabotaging, and I'm saying this generally, but of course, you know, this is a love reading, but whatever, however it relates to your life. But it's like I'm seeing a person who self-sabotages by creating these scenarios, and the whole purpose of doing this is to take the responsibility off of yourself having to make a choice. So that's the root. The whole reason why everything blew up to the point that it did is because you didn't want to make the choice and you orchestrated this situation and made it a lot bigger than it was supposed to be, right? Now, however that falls, whether that's Crosswatcher or Pisces. So if Pisces is on the receiving end, or if the Crosswatcher is on the receiving end of blocked communication or something that just stopped, or something that came to this climactic blow up, and it's like, where the hell did this come from? Whether it's on your end or the other person's, that's the scenario behind it. The person is trying to escape responsibility, you know, or accountability. So say hypothetically, if it was two people that a person was choosing between, it's like it was better for them to create chaos, you know, for you to click out and be like, see, that's why I don't want to be with you. You know what I'm saying? Instead of them saying that they didn't want to have to make a choice. It's like they wanted to place that burden on someone else, if that makes sense. So however that falls, my love. But the main thing that's blocking you, another thing is a lack of trust for the self. And I feel like a huge part of going within Pisces or Crosswatcher person is the simple fact that it's a lack of belief in self, which would lead to that fear of making decisions. Because if you don't trust yourself or your judgment, you're always going to feel that you're going to make the wrong one. You know what I mean? Because it's like, what do I know type of deal. So jumping into your individual energy, we have passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Yeah, that's interesting. Now, That's like a freedom thing for me. Looking before you leap, still leaping, still taking action. What you're taking action on, thank you, Spirit. What you're taking action on is what brings that highest vibration of joy to your life. Like, that's more or less the theme for this month. It's action, but in order to know what it is to jump on or what it is you're leaping towards, to know what it is that you're going to have success and growth in, there's a need to take that step back to seek one's inner truth. Because that's been kind of convoluted by a lot of things that have been happening. But it's more or less like the Zen quote, to follow your bliss. That's the key that unlocks every facet of your life that you have been journeying to find. Hashtag hermit. Anyway, moving on to your cards. The first card that we have is the Ten of Swords. This is in your fears position. Your desires, we have the Two of Pentacles. And in your soul lesson, your third card, we have the Knight of Pentacles. Interesting. So it's fearing a closing of a cycle. And that's still falling into that decision. It's like that anxiety. But a lot of this feels self-imposed, Pisces. I'm not even going to lie to you. But it's like the thing that you're desiring your life after the decision is made, which is interesting. You're desiring your life after the decision is made. It's just not wanting to go through everything before then. So it's more or less like wanting that benefit of a cycle closing out, that relief, that burden removed. Right? Having that balance, knowing where I'm going, but it's not wanting to go through the ugly, you know? And that's not something that can really be avoided. And I'm feeling the need to really stress this. This is something that you've been doing for a very long time. And looking at this in relation to a relationship, this is something where the passion is gone, right? This is something that's very stagnant. This is something that isn't growing. You know what I mean? It's something that's throwing you off kilter, making you doubt yourself, making you feel small, right? But it's a fear of going through this, even though you desperately know that you need it. And the key is that you can't have one without the other, right? So more or less the lesson in all of this is understanding that, and I really want to be nosy. I'm not going to lie to you. How many minutes we at? 13? I want to be nosy. The lesson that needs to be learned here, Pisces, is that everything in life is a process. Everything in life follows seasons. And those seasons are inescapable, right? Because in essence, we're doing the same thing over and over again in different ways. Like every single year, there's fall, there's winter, there's spring, there's summer. So everything follows that same ascending to descending cycle, right? There's a need to surrender to that truth, to apply it to every facet of the life, of seeing, how am I trying to say this? Of seeing that you're not really at the will of life. You're not really at the will of circumstances if you understand the way that it works, right? Another thing that's important to note is your own personal happiness and the fact that that's allowed, if that makes sense. The fact that your happiness is allowed, that you're allowed to ask for what you want. You're allowed to leave if you're not happy, right? That you don't have anything to prove, right? That sometimes when things aren't going in your favor, there needs to be a level of trust and knowing that even though it may not look like it, that when things pan out, that it's ultimately going to work in your favor. and needing to slow down, right? It's understanding that slowing down is very huge, because I feel like you're doing the most right now. It's like understanding that everything happens in its time. It's like you plant a seed and there's stages the seed needs to go through in order to grow, right? And it's not going to happen overnight. Oh, yeah. We got the Two of Swords clarifying your Ten of Swords. Ugh. Ugh. Good Lord. The Knight of Cups in reverse clarifying your Two of Pentacles. I cannot write it down. And we got the Death card. Oh, man. All right, Pisces. Here's the deal, boo thing. Boo thing, boo boo. I love you. I love you. I love you. Stagnation is a sign that you're out of alignment. Whenever you feel stuck, whenever you feel blocked, whenever passion stops, whenever joy stops, that's a red flag, red alert, man down, that it's time to move. Okay? The thing that scares the hell out of you is on an innate level, you know what this is, but you're afraid to face the truth in reference to this person. We haven't gotten to their stuff yet, but we about to, because we had 16 minutes. But anyway. But it's a fear of facing the truth in reference to this person. And I don't know what that fear is rooted in, you know, but it's at this point in the game, I can clearly say that you're afraid of facing the truth. There's denial here with the Two of Swords, clarifying the Ten of Swords. So it's more or less, I know that this is a done deal. I know this cycle is over, but it's like, and pinging on your cards up here, it's like a refusal to accept it. So much like how it was with Gemini, it's a choice to be stagnant, right? I desire the balance that comes once I put my foot down and make a decision. But right now, there's one foot in the past and there's one foot going towards the future, which means there's a lack of ebb and flow. You know, there's no stability, right? So with one foot in going towards the future and one foot in the past, first off, you're not in the present, but presently you can fall flat on your face, which is the Fool in reverse. That's not looking before I leap. It's me just almost putting yourself at a disadvantage, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's blocking your own, what's the word I'm looking for? Matriculation forward, you know? And there's a need to spend this time alone to see this within the self. Now, bringing this into the person, if you guys are separated right now, there's a need for both of you to see whatever contribution you both are making to each other. And I really feel like, dude, I feel like you've been waiting on someone, Pisces or cross watcher. Because clarifying the Two of Pentacles, right? Like weighing your options or wanting this choice to be made. It's like you're wanting a person who's showing up as the Knight of Cups in reverse, right? That's my drunken ex card, by the way. You're wanting this person to make a decision. So it's almost like you're holding, man, I don't know if y'all are related with Pisces, with Gemini somehow. But it's like, it's slightly like that, but much different because I'm seeing this very prominently. It's like you guys are specifically holding yourself back from moving forward because of a person. You're waiting for a person to bring you something. So it's like your entire future is on hold waiting for this person. Either you're waiting for them to change, right? You're waiting for them to come back. You're waiting for them to propose. You're waiting for them to commit. It's something, but it's stagnating you and you're not happy, you know? And I feel like there's a need to go within to figure out what that is, because with the Knight of Pentacles and the Death card, like when the death card shows up, dude, like that's a done deal. Like that's ending, that there is no going back on that, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? It had to be a resurrection, which still would not be the same thing that it was before. Like, we talking about zombie apocalypse again, okay? When the death card shows up, there is no going back. So that means whatever it has been, and you having the Ten of Swords here in the death card, right? Whatever it is that has been prior to this point is no more. You cannot relive this past. It's not possible, right? Like, this is a done deal. Okay? That's so heavy. We had 20 minutes, y'all. Let me go to y'all. Person, we have the success card. It's a lot going on. First card they have is the Hierophant. Interesting. Then we have the Hermit. Then we have the Two of Wands. Whoo, Lord have mercy. My goodness. Okay. So with your person, we have the Hierophant. The thing that they're afraid of is commitment. Promises. That's what you're waiting on. That's what they're afraid of. Right? In their, man, in their desires position, they have the Hermit card, and then we have the Two of Wands in their lesson. So it's like, even with this person, it's almost them coming to a place of, I need to clarify that success card, dog, because that made me feel some type of way. Oh, Lord have mercy. I know you lying to me. The Hermit card came out again. That is insanity. Clarifying success. So this person is doing some soul searching. That is interesting. They're looking for, okay, we have the Ten of Cups clarifying the Hermit card. That's interesting. Yikes. Okay, and then we, yeah, okay. Emi. Inky. So here's the deal. Your other person, and this is going to be very specific, y'all. So the Pisces that I'm talking to is a Pisces that a relationship ended between you and another person, right? Either this person physically told you that this isn't going to work. I'm in love with someone else. I don't feel the same. Whatever the case may be. It's like the person either told you by their lack of speaking, meaning they ghosted, you haven't heard from them in a minute, blocked you, right? Or the person literally told you, I don't feel like this is working out, or literally told you that they're in love with someone else type of deal, right? Because I feel like this person, you've been waiting on them, and I kind of feel like I'm picking up on something that happened already. So this may be something that happened like in March, right? So this person could have come back, or you guys could have broken up, and it's like this person more or less was like finishing unfinished business, right? So this may be somebody who left you out in the cold before, and they came back to kind of like settle the score, right? So more or less like maybe they had, I don't know, a wake-up call, an epiphany, a tower moment, I don't know. Something happened in their life, or they just, finally listened to their intuition, went within, and realized that the way that they treated you wasn't right. Right? Or that they don't feel the same anymore, or this isn't going to work, or that they really don't want a commitment. And I feel like why success is coming out with the Hermit card clarifying it is because they found their truth. So hypothetically, if we stick with one narrative, say this person spent some time away from you and realized like, okay, this girl, this dude, they really want a commitment. And it's like, I'm really not about that life. That's not what I want. I don't want to get married. I'm not ready to get married. Or I don't want to have kids, whatever it may be. They went within and found their truth. That's not what they want, right? So whatever it is, like this commitment here, that they're afraid of that, right? That's not something that they're vibing with on that level. I feel like this person told you that and decided to cut ties. And I don't know if they said it nice like that. They may not have. They could have said it really, really nice, or they could have said it really, really mean. But whatever the case is, whatever it is that you wanted from them, they didn't want the same thing, and they told you that. Either with them being by someone else, blocking, not returning your calls, not saying that, whatever the case may be, right? That's not what they wanted, right? So the thing that gave them peace, in a sense, and I'm hearing this two different ways. For those of them on the nicer side of the Likert scale, what would make them happy is seeing you happy, like you seeing the truth about them or who they are, right? Like, say hypothetically, if, the dude is like, I got 17 baby mamas. You can do better than me, right? For one group of your other people, there's a hope and a desire that you see that they were trying to help you by letting you go, right? Like your rejection, in a sense, was your protection. So there's a group of them that are hoping you see that, right? But then there's another group of them, and I feel like this is the mass majority of them. It's like they saw the truth about this situation and that they couldn't give you what you were asking for or just didn't want to. And with them now, they're trying to figure out what it is that their happiness even is, because they don't know. It's like they got one level of success in the fact that they realized that this situation was kind of stagnating the both of you, because it feels like a situation where these two people brought out the absolute worst in each other. So it's a level of guilt of them seeing how you're stagnated by this. It's a level of guilt in them seeing that you were sitting here waiting and that you probably would have continued to wait. And them seeing how, and that may be the big epiphany that they had, was like, maybe stuff in my life isn't moving forward because I'm keeping this person stagnant. So it's almost like in order for them to be able to find out what really truly makes them happy, they had to be real about their truth of not wanting this same thing, right? So that they could move forward to figure out what it is that they want that's best for them, right? Now, the lesson in all of this, they have the Two of Wands and they have the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Their lesson is to move forward and not wait. And I feel like this is something this person kind of already knew, because I feel like the difference between you two is almost like this person set you free, like them cutting you off. That's why I was feeling that with this Eight of Wands in reverse and your hidden influences, that them blocking you was literally the best possible thing that could happen. You just don't see that yet, because this person knows that they weren't doing right by you. And they already know, like, off GP. It's like, I'm not about to wait on nobody. It's like, if I need to make moves, I need to make moves regardless of whose feelings get hurt in the process. I'm not about to be sitting up here waiting. If I plant the seeds and the seeds don't do what the seeds supposed to do, I'm moving forward, So it's more or less with them, I feel like this is like a reinforced lesson, because their main thing is finding their happiness. They want to know what real emotional fulfillment and happiness is. And I feel like that's on an individual level, because on some level or another, I feel like this person, I don't know what happened back there, but I feel like it was kind of like a tower moment. It's like one of those things where uh I'm thinking about this story in the Bible with King David when he killed his best friend and stole his wife, and didn't see anything wrong with that at the time until the prophet comes in and says, there's this guy who has like a lot of sheep, and this poor man, he had one sheep and he stole that one sheep that he had. And David was like, how could he do that? Who is this man? Bring this man to me. And the prophet's like, you are that man. And he was like, oh, right. And like repents and everything. It's kind of like one of those situations. Like, I feel like this person found themselves in a circumstance where maybe somebody did to them what they did to you, right? Or someone did to one of their kids or sister or brother or someone they care about what they did to you, and they saw that connection and were like, oh, that's not right. Like, I gotta let them go on some stuff. So whether they physically told you or didn't, it's like them blocking you was literally the best thing, right? And the thing is needing to trust yourself, because I feel like in a sense, Pisces or cross-watcher person, you've given your power away to this situation. But on a soul level, which is what you need to reconnect with this Hermit card overall. And like I talked about, both of you, because that energy is for both of you. This person, they hermited out down here, okay? They got double hermit. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got one hermit except for in this overall energy. So we need you to get a little hermit or something. You know what I'm saying? So you need to go within, because I feel like your energy has been without. You've been fixated on what's going on outside of the situation. And you haven't gone within to ask yourself, like, does this really make my heart and soul sing with joy? I bet you it don't. I bet you it didn't. It was a hope that maybe one day out there in the future that it would, you know? So I feel like it's a level of you waiting. But no, none of this was a waste of time. It's a lesson that's learned. It's an experience that you had, you know? And it's like from here on out, let that be the lesson. Don't wait on someone else to be what it is you want them to be. Take a note from their lesson. You know what I'm saying? Don't be sitting up here waiting on stuff until you're dead. All you got is today. You know what I'm saying? And I say, dude, this is so real. If we spent our life waiting on people, and I've said this before, I don't know if it was to you, but we don't know how much time we have on this earth, dude. Like, we be playing like we're guaranteed to live until we're like 100 and something. That's not guaranteed. If tomorrow isn't promised, what are you doing today? If you spent your life waiting on a person, not doing what you want to do, boxing yourself in and waiting for another person to be what it is that you desire, you know what I'm saying? And you find out you waited for 5 years, and then you find out tomorrow, God forbid, but this is hypothetical, that you only have 24 hours to live. Was your life worth it? Was it worth it waiting for this person for 5 years? Because the hope was they're going to come around. They're going to change. They're going to be different. You know? But the whole thing is, this is showing you free will. This person is like, I'm not happy. I'm going to find my happiness. But it's like, what it is that you were wanting from them, they don't want the same thing. And that's not a reflection of you. It's just that people want different things. We all have a different concept of what happiness looks like. But the thing that I'm seeing already a theme in these readings is tying one's personal value and worth to being selected by another person. You know what I'm saying? It's like needing to really sit and reflect of like, why do you want them to choose you so bad? You know? So the cards we have Tortoise. You're too fragmented, so do whatever it takes to get grounded. Absolutely. That's this right here. Because it's almost like you have sacrificed yourself. You know? Your happiness. It could go as far as your identity. In hopes of another person choosing you. But in the process, it's like you forgot to choose yourself. You know what I'm saying? Next, we have Elk. And it says, stand tall and maintain your dignity no matter what. And others will treat you with the respect that you deserve. Absolutely. Don't surrender yourself to this, yo. Because this isn't a reflection of you. Like, this ended because it needed to. This is the best thing that could have possibly happened to you. You just may not see it now. We can celebrate if you do. But the beautiful thing about all of this, having the death card here, is legit a guarantee that this is not something you will go through again. Because the death card there's no, what is it? No givesies backsies, you know? This is something you experience. You're not going to go through this again. But this is like I feel like this is like a major cycle that's ending here. And it's time to start anew. So if this was like, you know, a long-standing type of deal, I feel like this is like a karmic type of relationship, you know? But it's like, I feel like in this reflection time is where you're going to see what role this relationship played if you allow yourself to be honest. So kind of how I described in the beginning with that whole not wanting to take responsibility thing. I feel like a lot of that is going to come up in this time where you take a step back to be able to look at this objectively, right? Now, we're going to throw the dice of resonance. Those of you who don't know, it's a little art project of mine. One of my subbies named it, you know, dice of resonance and what's not or whatever. And it has the 12 zodiac signs, sun, moon, and rising clarifiers, as well as the role a person could play in your life. And you also have the ability to ask a yes or no question. So if you would like to do that, please pause me. Please make sure that I'm not making an ugly face. Okay. And then, I think I said that already. This is going to have an extended read. You're going to have to check back for when I put it up because I wanted to get these out. And I'm doing personals in between. And I want to prioritize my personals before anything else. So just check back for the extendeds. But I'll be posting on social media when all of them are up. If you bout that life. And with that, I'm just going to name it Lurker's Lounge because over there, we just going to get all up in people's business. We're going to peep in people's windows and things. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how I get your life together and be in your windows. We about to be in their windows. It's probably not right, but whatever. I'm nosy. So if your question is formulated, I'm going to drop the die. Dang, are we almost at 40 minutes? That always happens with Pisces. So we have Aries. We have Aquarius. We have the male symbol, or that's Mars. Yeah, the action planet, Mars. So this can be Mars, or I wrote it as male, but one of my subbies told me that that's also the symbol for Mars. But it's Aries, it's Aquarius. The answer to your question is yes, in a few months, and family. So however that resonates, my dear. I don't interpret these. That's why it's the dice of resonance. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Pisces, I love your freaking face. It's been a pleasure. Most certainly, let me know what you think in the comments. Like this video. Share it with your friends, you know. Not the ones that'll think you're a creep because you watch tarot and what's not or whatever. But I love your freaking faces, and I will see you guys sooner than later. Deuces.